Now your part should look like this. You have the one work plane on there right now, placed at the, I believe we set this one at negative 0.6 away from the edge. You could change that a little bit and make it a little bit further this way if you wanted to, but I'm going to use where that one's placed based on how far I wanted this to be away from right here. So they show the very back of the light, or the back portion of that light cut out 1 inch away from there. So like I said, I put it at 0.6. You could change it a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and start a sketch, and I'm going to hit F7 so that I can actually see where I'm placing this. And I'm going to place the circle. The circle for these front headlights have a diameter of 0.20 that can be seen by looking right here, and it's pointing to the light. I'm going to start right here. I'm going to place this, and I'm going to dimension a certain distance away. You could use the points and use the hole tool, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to use the circle tool. And I'm going to place it 0.20. And then I'm going to make the second one 0.20. And then I'm going to dimension the center point away from this side edge right here. And the dimension they give us is 0.32. And then from the center to the very top up here, they give us a dimension of 0.18. So 0.18. The thing with my circle, and I'll adjust this one, I'm actually going to delete this circle, and I'll replace it lined up with this one, 0.2. And then I'm going to dimension this one away 0.27. So it looks like it's 0.27 away from this one. Now, if you rotate this a little bit, you can see that your circle is going to kind of come out of the top. It's not as far down. And if I look at this one, this completely goes around, the circle does. However, that really depends on what kind of angle you put on your profile view. So I'm going to finish the sketch, and I'm going to use the extrude tool, and I'm going to select each one of these, and I'm going to change it to cut, and it should auto select this direction. If it doesn't, just change the direction, and it's going to cut. And I'm going to set it. You can set it to distance, you can set it to all, it doesn't really matter. Hit OK, and it goes out this far. So it looks very similar to the one that is in the picture, but the problem we run into is I have half of it, and that was because when I did the profile view, I didn't make my arc as much, and so this will look a little bit different for each individual depending on what you did. I'm going to turn the visibility on for that work plane from earlier, and I'm going to mirror this to the other side, and then hit OK. And then at that point I can take these work planes that I have on and change the visibility off so that I have something that looks like this. So this pretty much matches up with what you have here. I've got my cutout. The only thing I'm missing right now is this section view. So I'm going to put this side paneling on again, and I'm going to go ahead and make a rectangle. And when I place this one, I'm just going to place it, and it's going to be 0.06. And I'm going to go ahead and click right here, and I'm going to go all the way over to the edge. I'm going to set the thickness to 0.06. And then I'm going to dimension this away from the top. And they have it away from the top, 0.30. The reason I'm doing that, and I'm going to see if I can get the point right here. And it doesn't look like mine's going to let me get the point. So what I'll do is I'm going to make a line really quick right here using the construction tool. And I'm going to lock this line in place so it doesn't move. And then I'm going to use the dimension from here to here, 0.3. So it moves it up. So I have that little cutout that they gave us right there. And we can see it on here. And it goes pretty far. You don't have to go all the way. So what I'll do with mine, once I have that in, I'm going to take my arc tool, and I don't know, about right here, I'm just going to kind of arc this down. And just a slight arc. And then what I'll do is I'll trim the rest of this off. I don't need this portion. And I can finish the sketch. From here I can extrude this in. And we'll set it to cut, and we don't want it to be 1, obviously. We want to do the same as the other one, which was a 0.06 extrusion inward bar cut. And then I'm going to hit OK. That should match up with the other one when we connect the parts. So again, I want to turn this plane back on, and I'm going to mirror this pattern, mirror plane, to the other side, and I'm going to hit OK. So I now have that in place. So I have something that looks very similar to the one that we had. So at that point you can turn the visibility for this off, and then you can go to tools, and you can change the material again for this one to wood and set it to birch. And there you go. Once you have something that looks like this with the measurements of this correct and the measurements for the wheels on the side, you can go ahead and update your save file and then move on to the next part.